trolley.
I know.
Hola.
Ring, ring, ring went the trolley. Busy again, just like yesterday. As you get into the daytime hours, the trolley is almost full capacity on each trip, and there's ones that run by pretty much every 5 minutes at this time of day, and yet the one you hop on is nearly full to capacity from people who got on at your stop or were on already. A relatively uneventful ride, about that same 15, 20 minutes, gets you to the, once again, bustling shopping district. Once again, as busy as yesterday with people in every direction. The one thing you do notice, even without like a quick check, is that the crowds are, at least in a relative sense, a little thinner than they were yesterday. And you can kind of suspect that that could be because of what's going on at the amphitheater. It may not be, but it's at least the leading candidate as to why. It's still a ton of people, but at the very least, there are like little gaps where you wouldn't really have seen them yesterday.
I am, though, different than what we've done before. I'm very, or I'm trying to be very observational of what's around us, just in case we're being followed, or my dad's men are on the prowl. So I'm looking around a lot.
You can all make a perception check along the way if you'd like.
I will do that.
Yeah, I'm looking for guards when we get there.
Yeah, same.
18.
Especially the people I've already...
Yeah, big 9. Bring the
baby.
noise.
Big 13.
As you guys are riding along the trolley and then you step off to start approaching the market itself, doesn't seem to be anybody following that looks out of place. All the passengers on the trolley seem to be minding their own business. Nobody keeps making like furtive glances at you. There's nobody running after the trolley at super speed like Naruto running. It's all relatively fine. And from a distance, you can see now the storefront that is becoming increasingly familiar to you. Customers in the front, but at least as far as you can see here, you can't see into the alleyway yet, but from here, no guards fitting the description of what you've been seeing to this point.
I ask Grail, as we start to get closer, I say, walk me through yesterday. Where did they chase you to? Take me there.
Okay, so I will do that. I mean, I don't want to go into like the alleyway, but I want to like kind of just point and kind of explain my trajectory, like how I was chased. So I will do that.
Okay. And you remember it well enough. It was kind of burned in.
Do you want me to actually recap that for you, or are you fine?
Doesn't need to be in like total detail, but I do want to know where you ended up.
If I remember correctly, I ended up, I didn't go back into the bazaar, right? Because that's the other direction.
No, you were headed west towards the trolleys.
Right. And so I like knocked over some like thing that was there, but, right.
Is it still knocked over when we walk by it?
Nope.
Okay, someone's cleaned it.
Been picked up and has stuff in it again.
Someone
they were
left
like
a note.
empty boxes, and now the shop owner, who, you know, doesn't seem to have had a good start to his morning, as it turned out, it has since picked up everything that was strewn across the ground.
So, Chris, is this area now where she ended up? Is it how busy? Because I got the sense it wasn't on the main street. It's kind of off of the street.
It's kind of off to the side. It's still pretty damn busy. It's also, I mean, you just because you know where it's at, you can kind of make out the store from there, but it's far enough away. It's, you know, we're talking like 1,000 feet away to where you don't really even have eyes on the building anymore. She had to go a considerable distance to finally break him off her trail.
Yeah. I
Right.
guess I'm just... Grail, I'm asking because I would like to try to draw the gods to a place that is not heavily populated. I want to find Sophia, but I want to be conscious of all the people around here. I don't want to draw them into any sort of fighting.
I mean, it's possible that the alley over, the one that I ended up like having to drop down into, is less populated. Like I feel like the further in you go, maybe it's less. Because where I was initially was like near like a square, right? Like where the trolleys were and stuff like that. If we go more towards like residential or something.
Yeah, I would say we should check it out a little.
Okay.
I'm thinking, and I'll just tell this plain to Grail and Kerash, I would say, what I'm thinking is if we can draw them out, we'll watch for a little bit. We'll make sure that they're keeping their 30-minute Every 30-minute, Chris? From what is it?
Every few hours.
Every few hours. Okay. Ooh. Well, still, trying to make sure that they're keeping their pattern. And if there are rooftops nearby, I can station on there. If we can try to sandwich them between us, triangulate in a way, they're going to be very hard pressed to escape.
Yeah, the rooftops are a bit tricky just because they're completely flat across. I mean, it's good for some things, and it makes it harder for them to see you if you're not on an incline, but they're high up, and I would just be careful with that.
So
I fell from one.
Yeah, I'll just talk. I'm thinking like you guys on the ground, me on the rooftop, shoot because I have a ranged weapon.
I know. Yeah.
But how high are the roofs?
20 feet,
15,
most of them.
20 feet. That's right. Yeah.
So it's still well within my range.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be hard-pressed to find too many roofs that aren't.
Okay.
The Publica one might not be, but pretty much, even in a place as big as Lycidian, it's going to take more than 60 feet to get you out of your range, so it has to be pretty tall. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess let's just walk around. Like, we just look like normal people. Let's just go in different directions and see what we can find.
Okay. So I guess, Chris, we're looking... Well, so Isaac is looking for an alleyway that's a little bit far away, not right next to it, so that if we draw two of them out, the other four or whatever don't immediately hear it and they're right there. Sort of an alleyway and with a roof right there. That's kind of what he's looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, my only concern with that, too, is that I don't know how we're going to single out one over the other because they go in pairs.
We're going to have to draw both. Unless we have a really rare opportunity that we can be mindful of, but it's probably going to be 3-on-2. Unless...
And once they don't finish their rounds, that's going to alert them immediately. So I think being far away is super important. Not far away, but enough away that they're not going to just run right into us.
Yeah.
You guys looking for anything in particular as you walk about?
I'm kind of going to look for hiding places and areas that we can easily sneak away into for protection in case we need to use that. Kind of like what I did the night before, but that was, that we can't use that now because it's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So we're setting up an ambush then?
Possibly.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Does Kerash have a better idea?
Yeah.
Better.
What is Kerash's idea?
Why don't one of us go into the store in the front and see what it is?
I was actually thinking that initially, and I think Kerash might be a good candidate, except I'm nervous about what Kerash is capable of.
Kerash is a great candidate.
I think so too. I think that'd be amusing at the very least. Yeah, because you say it's a storefront and there's people outside, right?
Yep.
I mean, that seems like a good bet.
One of us trying to sneak in the back while Kerash is in the front, or should we just let Kerash try to gather information and leave it at that?
Let's have Kerash do his thing.
Okay.
I want Kerash to have his day, goddammit.
Oh God.
Well, Kerash will be over here nearby, and I guess
So, I have a question.
Sure.
So from where we're standing, and I think I want to move forward a little bit so that I can see anything. Is there anything that's been posted outside, any kind of signage, anything to indicate what this storefront actually is for, so that Kerash can at least go in with some idea as to what he might be looking for?
There is no signage on it, no, but you've been there yesterday and would have at least remembered to some extent that there appear to be various fruits, vegetables.
Okay.
It's a food stand of sorts.
It's a food stand. Okay.
Some bread. A baguette.
Okay. So I guess we can ask Kerash to retrieve us some food.
Kerash has got this.
Oh my God.
Keep it cool. Don't divulge anything about why we're actually here. You know that, right?
Do you think I am a moron?
No, I just want to make sure. This is delicate. It's a delicate operation.
That is not very nice.
I'm
I'm just going to turn and go.
Oh, good.
I
Great.
still
This is
have the eye that just lingers and trails off.
And he's off. I kind of look at Isaac, like with the kind of wary, somewhat concerned expression, but I don't say anything, and I kind of just look in the direction Kerash is going, kind of intently.
By this day's end, I will have pissed off every member of our team, Grail.
So far, I think I might be the only one you haven't yet.
We'll see. The day
It's
is
still
young.
very early. Yes, exactly.
So the question is, are you guys going to keep eyes on him and abandon sorting out the other stuff you guys were talking about?
For
Yeah, I
right
think-
now, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. I don't want to just leave him there.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
All right.
Yeah.
Could possibly go wrong?
Well, that's what Lena and I thought last night. So anything could happen.
Yeah. So Kerash, you stroll on over, and it takes a couple minutes from where you guys were, but it gets you over to this store eventually, and sure enough, lots of food. Pretty good looking food too. There's a pretty decent contingent of customers there. We're talking like, 8 to 10 people sorting through different baskets and boxes of different fruits and picking some up. And you know how people are in the produce section. They always have to touch everything and look at them.
Oh, yes. Kerash is with his people. I'm going to start discussing fruit with anybody and everybody around me, and what they like and where it comes from,
Oh my god.
and any and all of that information. And if one of the shopkeepers or anybody wanders through, I'm going to start talking to them about it as well. Get a little rapport going on here.
Okay.
Crash is
Oh,
gonna come
no!
back and tell us all about fruit and nothing about any of it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
what about like the place? Like, did you see anyone? He's like, what?
What did you learn, Kerash? Well, they are apples are in season this time of year.
Yeah.
That's not Kerash's voice. Continue, Kerash.
Yeah.
So you kind of pick up some conversation with some of the customers, and at just the very beginning of the conversation, they look a little bit off-put because, again, a lot of people have not seen a ton of Dragonborn in their lifetime. But again, it's not like a negative one. It's just kind of like oh, look what we have here. But quickly, the conversation becomes normal conversation, and just, I wonder where these were grown. I've heard they get these from across the continent and all this stuff. Eventually, somebody wearing a red and white striped apron does seem to pass by. It would be your best guess. Could be a worker here.
Okay. If they're walking past, I'm going to ask them what's in front of me, fruit-wise or food-wise.
This part is all vegetables right now, where you're standing with this person
Vegetables?
walking by. Yeah, so we're talking like a lot of. Yeah, I'm not big on like fantasy vegetables, so we're talking like a lot of asparagus,
Okay.
a lot of lettuce.
Is there any obvious like rhubarb?
Sure, there is rhubarb. Yeah.
Okay.
Make a
I'm gonna
rhubarb
grab
check.
a stalk of rhubarb. A rhubarb check. I'm gonna grab a stalk of rhubarb, and I'm gonna get his attention, or his attention or her attention.
His attention, yes.
His attention. I'm getting his attention and ask him point blank, "Pardon me, where did you get your rhubarb? This is delightful."
Can we see this? Can we see him holding this big
I
rhubarb?
mean, you can see him holding something up. I don't know that you can pick out that it's rhubarb from 1,000+ feet.
Yeah.
If you want to roll a perception check to see if you know it's rhubarb, I guess you can.
No, it's okay. I was just curious to know. if
Yeah,
we
you can
could
see
it.
him holding up something and gesturing to what appears to be an employee, but beyond that, the details are way too far off to be that.
I kind of turn and look at Isaac, and I just shrug.
We just have to have faith.
I know, blind faith. By the way, blind faith.
Sure. Shopkeep kind of looks you over. He says, "Well, you have a good eye. It's some of our finest products. We get that from the southwest coast. Seems to like growing in desert climates around here, so we have it shipped over here, and it's kind of a delicacy of sorts. You don't find a ton of it around this part of the continent."
It is one of my favorites. I used to make pies with it. It is delicious. Do you have any more? This is not enough.
And he kind of looks at this. So there's a whole like moving box. You know how you get like a produce box from the store and it's like, you know, decent size. There's a whole box of the stuff, and his eyes kind of widen. He's like, "You want more than just the box?"
Yes, it is my favorite. I am very large.
He's looking up at you at this point because you are a good 7-8 inches taller than him. He's like, "That you are. How many boxes?"
3 boxes.
Does he have any money?
No, none of you do.
I do. I do.
Having
I
spent
didn't
some
give
on
it to
supplies, or
Kerash.
you were not actually? Did you not actually end up doing that? 'Cause we talked about you shopping some off air.
I probably didn't clean out my account.
Okay.
I probably don't have a lot, but I kept a little bit, even though I trust Tessie.
Air quotes. He says, "Well, 3 boxes it is. It'll take a moment for me to get them. Is that okay?"
I can help you. I am very large.
Oh. Ooh.
Okay. Gets kind of a strange look. It's not an offer he normally gets, but then again, you look like a young strapping dragon man. So he says, "Sure, that would be wonderful. Yes, come with me." And he kind of gestures you around back of where the majority of these boxes are lined up at the front and towards this door that leads inside the store.
Okay.
You guys see him following this man and go inside the building.
I look back at Isaac because I'm going back and forth, kind of, but mostly trained on the shop, and I'm just like, well, he got in.
So far, so good. That Kerash is a clever one.
That he is.
Kerash, the inside is not as well. What?
I was just gonna say, I would like to position myself. I want to be watching Kerash. That's the most important. But if I could also see that side door, I would like to be looking there. If there was no way to make those both work, Kerash is the priority.
You would have to have gotten closer. If you guys, like the last you guys said, you were posted up at where Grill ended up yesterday, which is a ways off. You have no line of sight into the alleyway. If you guys want to move closer, you can. But that's the only way you're going to be able to.
I think it's probably fine if we do. I mean, it's bustling, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like as long as we're not like just hanging out in the alleyway, it's probably fine. Like if we just kind of like walk through, almost like do a bit of a drive-by.
I would have liked to, just so we can start monitoring sooner. And if we have to retroactively roll something, like that's fine. But that's probably what he would have done.
Okay. So you guys just kind of start strolling about, looking around, trying to appear inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna look like a tourist. It's kind of just like, you know, looking at if there's anything nearby, just kind of like gesturing and like, oh, things like that.
I'm gonna be on my cell phone.
Okay. Millennials.
Yep.
Kerash, the interior is only lit up because of light sources from within. There's no windows on the storefront. And you're kind of realizing pretty quickly that this is a storage area, not like the inside of a store. Whenever they're open, it kind of confirms what you were seeing yesterday, where everything that happens is out in the street. And the interior is meant to hold additional boxes. And there's boxes and crates stacked up of all sorts of things, some of which you can see because they're not closed, some of which you can't. But everything you see inside of here, make a perception check.
Come on, Kerash.
Come on!
Come on, man. Yeah.
16.
Hey!
Your eyes kind of quickly scan the room as much as you can without appearing too noticeable as he leads you inside. And everything that you can see, at the very least, the stuff that is open, appears to be on the up and up. It's all additional supply of what's going on the outside. In addition, there are no other doors in this room. And the one thing you can pick up on with that check is that there's more to this building than this room. This room doesn't cover this whole length of this building that goes back maybe 50, 60 feet. This room opens up, and it's cut off at about maybe the 15-foot point. It's a much smaller room than you were anticipating walking in. That does definitely, even like for you, you can pick up on quickly, does not cover the whole scope of this building.
Okay, I'm gonna carry on with my rhubarb almost purchase.
Oh my god.
Okay. So he kind of leads you over to the right side as you come in, and he says, well, let's see, 3 boxes. Counting the one outside or in addition?
3 total?
He says, very well then, yes. So here you go. And he picks up one of the boxes. He hands it to you. Picks up one of the boxes himself.
Okay. Yeah, I'll I'll keep talking about rhubarb. I got nothing. I got no particular.
Part of me is like, tell me about this whole conversation about rhubarb. And part of me is like, I wouldn't want you to make me do that, so I'm not going to make you do it either.
Yeah, one of my neighbors was a gardener back on the Blue Isles. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't know crap about rhubarb except that it makes delicious pie.
Yes. So pretty quickly, he leads you back outside, heads back over to where the previous box was. He says, well, this one is almost full, and then these two, I mean, it's almost 3 total boxes, if that's to your liking.
That's just fine.
All right, let's see. So 3 boxes. You can see him kind of doing some mental math. He goes, all right, 6 silver then.
Do I have... I might actually have the silver on me still. Hold on a second. How much money did I end up giving?
Please do.
I got change at some point. I have 8 silver pieces on me.
What the
Oh my god.
Yes!
All right, we're boxing it up, baby.
Sorry, I misspoke. 9 silver.
Oh, you're killing
No,
me.
it's fine. It's 6.
So it's upside down.
It's
It's
Yeah.
dyslexic, but in an up-down way.
I'm gonna gather my rhubarb.
So you hand him the 6 silver. He seems appreciative. That's a big score for them. And
Can I carry all 3 boxes? What am I gonna do with so many silver or rhubarb?
yeah, I can't hold all these
Okay.
limes.
I can't hold all these rhubarbs.
These rhubarbs. Yeah, they're not especially heavy. It is a little bit taxing, if nothing else, because it's bulky more than because it's heavy, and you have to kind of balance them as you're holding all 3 of them. But you can do it.
All right, I'm gonna chaw at him for a while if I can keep him there. Just asking about the business and asking about eventually wandering into the building and see if I can't persuade him to give me whatever information he has about who else is in the building, like if there are any other cool stores nearby, or like if he had that sort of thing. Whatever it is that weans me into the finding out what I can about the building at all.
Make a persuasion check.
Very casually.
Super cash. Soup's
Super
cash.
cash. 13.
He does seem happy to stay and converse a bit, probably because you've given him essentially like a 1/10 of his business for the day in one transaction.
Damn.
Because that's a lot of inventory when people usually just want a couple for the most part. So he's happy to kind of shoot the shit for a little while and go over this stuff. Once you start asking a little bit more about the building, he says, under kind of hushed tones, he says, I really shouldn't talk about that.
I apologize. I did not know that was problem.
It's a residence of sorts, but really not supposed to speak about it.
Oh, it is. I thought this was all stores.
No, a lot of the buildings along here are where the store owners might live, but almost all of them peddle their wares out in the street where they get the most traffic.
So you do not live here too?
I do not know. There are some in this area who do not have the ability to purchase it if they don't sell enough, so they may not have the property adjacent to it. It's complicated, but...
You do sell very good rhubarb.
He says, I appreciate that. It's just, as you can see, I mean, there are people selling fine wares and clothing and weapons and things that will attract a much bigger profit than I can make. I just do enough to get by, really.
Well, as long as you have nice neighbors.
Well, not much in the way of competition. We don't sell the same thing, so we get along okay.
That is good. Good neighbors are like good walls.
He's at this point, you can see he's kind of starting to look around a bit more, not suspiciously, but like I'm looking for an exit strategy for this conversation. Like I don't want to be impolite because this guy was a good buyer, but I'm also sort of over talking to him.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna. Do I know his name at this point?
Sure. I'll just burn a name on a fucking fruit man.
It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna.
No, let me just scroll down here for you, Mike.
He's got a name badge. It says Timmy.
Timmy Brandywine.
Yeah. Timmy Whittlewood.
That is a good name. It was lovely to meet you, Timmy Whittlewood. If I am in town any longer, I will come back for more rhubarb. Thank you.
He says, well, I'll have to do my best to get more in stock by then, but I will certainly try.
All right, I'm gonna take off with my rhubarbs.
Okay. So you guys watched as a moment passed, really not that long inside, maybe a minute. And Kerash came back out carrying a box, and now he is heading back in your direction as you guys have sort of walked across this area a bit, and he's now carrying 3 boxes.
Kerash, how did it go? And why do you have so much rhubarb?
It is amazingly good rhubarb.
And at this, I'm actually looking at the boxes like, damn, that is some good rhubarb.
Yeah.
Would you
I'm gonna
like some?
pull him behind the corner and be like, did you learn anything
Yes, the rhubarb is grown in the desert.
besides the rhubarb, Kerash?
The building is not connected to the back. The store is owned by the nice man who sold me the rhubarb, and the back of the building is a home.
Are they affiliated?
They what?
Are they... Do they know each other? Do you think that the shop owners are aware of what's going on behind him?
No. He seems like a very nice man.
Well, if that's to be believed, that is something, I suppose.
Yes. There was no obvious doorways into the back room. I was sad.
So, okay, I have like a question, but maybe it's Grail asking, but like that room that Kerash went into, does it share a wall with the back alley?
Part of a wall, yes.
Okay,
Well,
so
not the back alley, no, the side ones.
the side, okay, right,
Yeah, the
right.
alley make a U around it. This is at the front of the building, so the back
Yeah.
wall does not touch the back of the alley. That's the part that is much shorter than expected. The 2 sides do, but there were no, at least seemingly no points of
Okay.
entry from there.
Okay, so so yeah, there's an entirely different area of the house.
So we learned a little, but I don't think our plans change.
No.
Grail, when you and Lena were watching their routes, they came out and traveled in the same direction every time, correct?
That's what. Yes.
So if we wait a little bit down their route, we don't have to trigger their coming out. We just wait for them and jump them on the route they're already on.
As long as it's not in the great wide open.
Right. Well, you would know though. Were they traveling like through the alleys, or do they just join the main street in their walk?
So we followed them coming back from the docks, and then it's unclear because we weren't actually watching their trajectory after they left the alley, so I don't remember.
Chris, from what they saw, did they come out and go to the main street, or did they kind of weave deeper into the alleys?
They didn't see. The
Okay.
best hope you actually have is from your guys' following them the day before, where
Right.
they seemed to stick to the main thoroughfares until they splintered off into the alley. But they only saw guards that were coming in, and then when they came out, they weren't following a pattern; they were being chased.
Right. So it looks like maybe probably intentionally stick to high trafficked areas.
Did they take the trolley when we followed them back?
Nope.
They walked.
Interesting. Well. Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask Kerash. Did you notice anything about, like, when you were walking, or any sounds when you were in that store? Did you hear anything at all, or nothing? Like, did you hear nothing?
Yeah, I didn't notice any weird variations in sound inside that side of the store, did I?
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for noise to be made, but your conversation was audible. The
Footsteps heard.
The box made noise when you picked it up. Yeah, it seemed nothing stuck out as like this is wrong.
Okay.
Nothing was odd.
Well, I think we have a couple of ways to play this. One, obviously, is we wait for them to go. They're usually gone for... When were they gone? How long were they? Because they left and came back in the time you were watching them. How long was that? Did that take?
We were there for, what was it, half an hour?
A little over, yeah.
Yeah, a little over half an hour.
So we can wait for 2 to go, and then I can try to actually just sneak in. Like, if I fail and I make a lot of noise, then I can immediately dip, and that's sort of like what the plan A was anyway, lead them to our ambush. Or
So, wait. I'm trying to understand. So they're leaving through the alley, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going in?
As soon as they're gone...
Yeah.
Like, forget it, because I'm thinking if we can forget about those 2 and try to operate while they are gone, because it's likely there are more inside.
And it's likely that as soon as they leave, they're gone for a good couple hours, because if they're going to the docks, right, to check on Aurora, they're gone for a while, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking, but they said 30 minutes, but is it
Well,
a little longer than 30 minutes, I think.
That was how long it took. I mean, we don't actually know how long they were gone because they showed up, and there's no way for us to know.
They only saw a group coming. They didn't see come and go. They don't
Longer
have,
the
have
better.
time.
The longer the better then.
Yeah.
And then so I can try to get in if we know there's there could be more. There could be 10, 12, 15, 20, who knows.
Mm-hmm.
But at least there's 2 that aren't there. And we can...
And what did Kerash and I do?
I mean, I think go to the ambush point that we talked about where they chased you to. Because the original plan was going to be one of us could trigger the alarm, lead them to that area, and then we ambush them. But, I mean, it might be worth if I can actually sneak in and scope out the main room or something.
That's the thing. Why don't we just let them go do their thing? Like...
So that's what I'm saying. So the 2 are going to go do their thing, and hopefully they're going far, far away. While they're doing that, I'm going to try to sneak in, but I'm thinking if I fail, 2 others who are there, and they probably are there, at least 2, will then chase me, and we can isolate those. That's what I'm thinking. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, it might be best for Kerash and I to wait outside of the alley. So if you come out, hopefully they have guns. Hopefully they don't fucking shoot you. But if they come out, then we can just kind of jump them or have the jump on them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just set up next to the end of the alley and, share rhubarb.
Okay. So do we have any spells that are helpful for... I mean, Lena has most of them. Lena and Tessie and Mage Armor, Pass Without a Trace. Do you have anything that could help with added AC?
No.
Sneaking? Defense?
Nope.
Power? Anything?
No,
Okay,
what I do have and may be useful if we have a few, I don't exactly know how we would utilize it, but I do have a Find Familiar spell that I could create like a spider or something to go in, and I could see through it and kind of follow you along.
That's a great thing for just starting out with.
So you have Find Familiar?
I just found out that I had it! But it's a ritual, so it takes like, I don't know, like 15, no, it takes like 10 minutes for me to cast it.
And you don't have the resources for it yet either, I wouldn't think.
I need a bunch of charcoal, incense.
Yeah, Kerash has charcoal, incense.
Apparently I need 10 gold pieces worth.
Okay.
Incense and herbs that must be consumed by fire. I guess you're right, I don't have the components.
That's good to keep in mind for the future, though.
Yeah, Find Familiar is aces. It was a shame that we have not been using that.
It's okay.
My other campaign, we don't even look at our components because it's not something we care about at all.
There will probably come a time in this campaign where we won't, but not at the early levels.
Okay, then we can't do that. What I do have, the only thing I really have that might be useful is I have a sleep spell that I can cast on anyone who might come at you.
That actually honestly would be great if we can put one to sleep, get the other one far enough away, or put them both to sleep, and then we kidnap one and get them out of there.
Yeah, the only problem is that my sleep spell, I really it is dependent on their HP, and I think these guys are pretty strong. So I don't know that it'll actually, but we can try our best. Yeah.
Kerash, what about you? You have healing, but I don't think you have any buffs.
I have one, but it doesn't last more than a minute. So if you're trying to sneak in real quick, it's not going to do us any good.
Okay. Oh. All right. Well, here we go. I'm going to go try to sneak into this place.
Well, we're going to wait until they leave.
Yeah. We're going to watch, and then I'm going to go. I'm probably going to wait 5 minutes. Should be plenty of time to wait. And even if I fail and the other guards start shooting me, I would think 5 minutes away. They're not going to hear that, especially in this busy city.
Yeah.
So you guys are all posted up in an alley for the time being where the ambush is meant to be led to, and you're going to keep an eye for them to pass by on the street as the sort of cue for this?
Yeah. Well, I would like to be watching the door. So wherever I have to be maybe like Grail and Kerash are in the alleyway, and I am, milling about, kind of like we were doing earlier, but where I can kind of see the door. Because I'm afraid they're going to come out and then go the other way, and we're not even going to know they left.
So are we planning on ambushing them, or are we planning on sneaking in?
Plan A is sneaking in, and when that goes bad, it will be ambushing them, and I will lead them to you.
So, that's not an ambush. I just FYI.
Plan B is the ambush.
Okay.
It's a plan A and a plan B.
Kerash and Grail are not sneaking. We're hanging out.
If I go in, and it seems like I'm making my way in there, it might be worth you guys kind of edging closer. So that if they're like waiting for me with a shotgun to the face and I have to dive out the window with Sophia in my arms, you'll be ready to help. So yes, that is the plan. That's for better or worse. Isaac is claiming responsibility. He will take all the blame for when this goes terribly.
All the bullets.
So
and all the bullets.
Also, I do have message, and it can go through solid objects if I'm familiar with the target.
A lot.
So,
how often? Once a minute?
Once every 6 seconds.
Oh my God! Use that. Ping me at least every 30 seconds.
This is like an AOL Instant Messenger conversation. Ding, ding, ding.
And Michelle would send them this often.
Honestly, just send them to me. Like, you don't even have to sit. It's more for me being able to relay something to you if I need to.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that seems fine. As long as it's, let's see, it needs to be, it can be beyond 3 feet of wood. What is it? It's stone?
What is what?
The wall.
The wall of the building?
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems to be some kind of stone.
Okay, so I can go between a foot of stone.
Okay.
Although, I don't want to be that guy. The first part of that sentence is magical silence. It's just.
That's true. So yeah. Right.
Just so you know your own spell. You're correct. 1 foot of stone.
That's
true. Go through. Yeah.
And if we can't hear Isaac, then we also have some. We know if I send a message and there's nothing that comes back, then we know there's magical silence happening. So, that sucks, but also it gives us an indication as to what's going on there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no. 1 foot of stone does stop it.
Right. So anything less than that, I don't know how thick these walls are, but we have to try.
Now, as a question for clarity's sake, you guys are going to be in the same alley then? With the door in it? Because otherwise, if you guys are in an alley that's a little ways down the way, you're going to be going through more than 1 foot of stone.
No. It's the same alley.
So you guys are going to hide in the alley where the door is.
Well they're going to start further back. If I start making my... because I could fail right away and then it's ambush plan. If I start making my way in, that's their cue to start getting closer in response to that.
So
for the record, the way message works is... Think of it like you are shooting the message. It does not have to travel in a straight line.
I know.
It can move. Well, so for the sake of if you were 2 alleyways down, as long as you could draw a line 120 feet long from where you were to where he is, even if it passes through, or as long as it doesn't pass through magical silence, a foot of stone, an inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood, then it works. So even if the building was made out of lead, if there was a wooden door and you could draw the line, it would still work. Just
I know. I don't have a fast, like a great grip on like.
I mean, this is more for Chris's. Chris has an idea how it works. Yeah.
So
I would like to be able to use message if at all possible.
Yeah. Sure, which is fine. Where are you two then?
I figured we'd hang out.
If he's milling about in the street, where are you?
Alleyway that we are not going to be.
Yeah, like
that they don't think they're going to go out of, I guess.
Yeah, like, I mean, we could try to pretend to sell some rhubarb, but then I think if the storekeeper sees us, then that would be shitty. But we have this huge heaping thing of rhubarb. I imagine we can kind of just like hang out at like the end of the alley and just
a way better plan. Just go with Kerash and be like, I brought my friend. This rhubarb's so good. I can give you my cash so that it's possible, and then but we'll all go kind of in a way together, sort of, once we see them leave. So I will be in the street watching like I was before. You guys back away from there. You're watching me.
Once you close in.
And then once I go, you'll go up and you'll be at the shopkeeper.
With the rhubarb?
With the rhubarb. Let me give you a couple gold right now. I hope they can break gold, because I don't need 2 gold worth of fucking rhubarb.
They don't have 2 gold worth of rhubarb.
Okay.
Looking at them out.
Yeah, they have 1 more box, as it turns out. But anyways.
1 for you and 1 for you.
Okay. So, Isaac, you start milling about the streets again, just trying to keep an eye on that alley door best you can without seeming too weird about wandering in the same place. Grail and Kerash, you approach the shopkeeper. He seems surprised to see Kerash again. Engage him in conversation. How long are you going to do this?
I mean, they go every few hours, so I would hope. We've been there already for a while. How long would you say?
Maybe 30 minutes.
So 30 minutes. So every few hours. I mean, worst case scenario, we would have to wait. I mean, they go like clockwork, so I would say we can reconvene in 2.5 hours from now. At worst case scenario.
Oh my God! And you were in a hurry this morning.
Well, yeah, because we don't know the window. We could come at noon, and then it's the same thing.
Yeah. No, I know what you guys are saying, but also it can't be helped. So wait, I thought we were waiting before we go to the shopkeep.
You are.
You're only doing that once he goes and follows people? So you're all just going to wander about the plaza for the time being?
No, they are staying back in like the other alleyway. I mean, they're watching.
Technically, we could wander the plaza, but I mean, like if we still have like access to Isaac, like eyes on him.
Plus, between send message too, you don't even have to necessarily have eyes on me, but yeah,
that's true. That's
they're
true. But we
back while I'm in the street, kind of watching the door. But I know like their cadence, and I know, I mean, the alleyway, so I'm not watching like every. Not necessary, but enough to where no matter what, if they get up and they get out, I'll be able to see them at some part in their walking.
Plus, one would hope Tessian and Lena somehow show up well before 2.5 hours.
I'm not sure. That would be great, but I also don't know how long it's going to take. It could be 5 minutes.
It'll be less than 2.5 hours, I'll tell you that much.
Sweet.
Oh, boy.
I guess
I'm everybody... my rhubarb and chill.
Everybody make a perception check.
12.
Oops.
10.
5.
Well, you guys keep your eyes about you as best you can as you're waiting for a while here. And other than throngs of people in every direction, at no point in the next hour do you see any guards. Coming or going.
I am going to send a message over to Isaac and just say, do you think she's been moved? Kind of with like my whisper has a sense of despair kind of in it and frustration.
I hope not. She can't be. Let's we can wait one more hour, or do you want me to check now? And we go with plan A.
I think we need to wait. I think this plan is cautious, and we've already waited long enough. I mean...
Okay, I'll wait one more hour. So we wait. Do.
Yay, have fun!
There's a little girl somewhere being tortured brutally.
No. No, well, Tessie and Lena didn't want to do anything at all, so at least we're doing something.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Are you?
Yes. / maybe not. No.
Another hour passes, and the only thing you see at this point is make a perception check one more time. New one. New hour.
Good, because the one that I had was garbage.
Yeah, a 12 beam best is not phenomenal.
I'm going to use my...
Oh, yeah, another 5, because, the first 5 was too good. I had to do it again.
17.
Good. Someone.
2 17s.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Hell yeah.
Good.
As this hour passes and you're now approaching noontime, no guards. What you do see is Tessian and Lena heading into the plaza, given the time it takes for trolley rides.
Is it that how long is it? The end of 2 hours now? Oh, just about.
Just about.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start sneaking in.
I'm gonna wave them down with a stalk of rhubarb.
Yeah, so I'm going to send a message to Isaac and just say, Lena and Tessian are here. What do we do?
I say we go now. We don't have time to redo the plan again.
I'm going to say, I don't think that's a good idea. Why don't you come back and we can regroup the entire strength of our team?
Tessian's buying a scroll case, or looking to buy one.
I think they've been gone for 2 hours and I'm getting nervous, so I'm going to check now.
I just think that this might be pointless if she's already been moved, Isaac. I think we need to come up with a plan that involves all 5 of us.
I don't mean to be a dick, but if you're using message, you can't use it that quickly, so you probably...
That's true. He probably just ran off. I know, it's like every 6 seconds, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try to stealth up to the door.
All right.
Sorry.
So... No, you're right. You're totally right, Mike. I was thinking about that too. I was like, there's probably no conversation happening here.
Even with the conversation, I would still be like going to do
the first bit happens. The send and receive. You should wait for them to come up, and he says, "I don't think we can afford to wait for a new plan." And then that's the extent of it.
Can I hear any of this or see any of it or see Isaac going?
She can triangulate, but well, you can see me. You can see me go, but
if I see you start down the alleyway, I'm going to stand up and grab another stalk of rhubarb and my sword and continue waving Tessian and Lena.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go I'm gonna listen to the whisper and be like, no. Okay, kind of, and then I kind of stand up as well, and I'm like, I kind of gesture at Tessian and Lena to come to us.
I will do that.
So as you guys are looking for a scroll case in the market, the thing you do see instead in that area is a somewhat frantic-looking Kerash and Grail. Kerash with a sword and a piece of rhubarb in his hand, and Grail with not that, but still looking kind of in your direction as you approach.
Where's Isaac?
And you don't see me because I'm so stealthy.
I do need to make a stealth check.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
I
asked
need to
the
make a stealth
question.
check?
18
No,
stealth.
just Isaac, not you.
Oh, sorry.
Unless you want to sneak into the bazaar. Doom. Okay. Isaac, you dart down the alleyway. It's still quiet in the area. And are you going up to the door?
Yeah, and I'm going to check it.
It's locked.
Can I pick the lock?
Not without a lockpick.
Motherfucker.
I have one.
Somebody
I have
has
one.
these tools.
That'd be me. Shit.
I have to be proficient in these tools to even use them, though, right? Like I can't, or do I just is it like you do it with advantage?
You can use them, but it's harder. You don't get a proficiency bonus to the check, and it's a whole thing.
I'm trying to think. Okay. I mean, I would have, if I'm going up to the door, I would have figured it was locked. I would have asked for the thieves' tools, but that's okay. I would tell, next time you send, I'm gonna stay there and see what I can hear and look through the lock, and kind of wait for you to send message again to update you. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to look through the lock and see if I see anything.
Okay. Looking inside. Was it you who looked last time? I don't remember who looked the first time.
It was me the first time.
Yeah.
Same scene. No movement inside. Lit enough that you can see the interior, at least from this limited hole that you have to peek inside. You can see where the staircase was that goes up. No movement, no sound.
And there are no windows, right?
There are no windows.
So I am guessing I see Isaac just standing there, trying the door. So
I'm gonna beckon you over.
Oh, good. Okay. I send a message and like, what's going on? And then I kind of look, is the door locked?
It's locked, but I think we can pick it, but we'll need your tools.
I kind of like clench my hands into fists, kind of just like anxiously, and I take a look at the rest of the group and shrug and walk into the alley.
I would tell you to at least gesture. You can ignore it, but I would be like, ah.
What?
Like stealth into the alley.
Well, yeah, no, I'm going to.
Oh, okay. I'm
Obviously.
walking into the alley because I'm pissed.
Just rolling in, like, no. I'm gonna try and do it as as stealthily as possible, I guess.
Okay.
Do I make a stealth check?
Sure. I'm sure there are some DMs that would argue that all of this isn't possible to begin with, but this is fine. Because you're in the middle of a busy thoroughfare. There's no such thing as stealth in broad daylight. But it's still a degree of how surreptitious you can be, and that's why this is all fine.
That, and also I think like the way you weave through a crowd and the way you kind of make yourself look
right, which is how I interpret it, which is fine. I'm just telling you that like for some people they would be like, you cannot hide. You can't be sneaky in the middle of a crowd of thousands in the daytime.
Some people might say deception, not stealth.
Well,
exactly.
And I'm not trying to
this is how we
hide.
traditionally do it. I'm just saying, like in general, for viewers more than anybody else, like there are definitely some people who would not play this way.
That's true. That's fair. I'm not actually trying to hide necessarily. I'm just trying to make myself look as like inconspicuous as possible.
Yeah.
I got 21.
Okay. Yeah, you dart into the alley about as quickly as you can. Seemingly nobody in the area notices you.
Okay. I'm going to, immediately drop down and start picking the hell out of this thing.
I don't know if you have a thieves tool check built in, but if not, it's going to be Dex plus proficiency.
I got it. 11.
It's not bad.
That is enough. It's not a fancy lock or anything. It's just a regular old lock. So you fiddle with it for a moment. You have this hesitance for a second because you're like, it's not working. It feels like it should be working, but all of a sudden you hit the and the door is unlocked.
I'm gonna beckon you to hold. Gesture to hold.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go in.
Tessian's making small talk with Kerash. So, things are going well. I see you've got some rhubarb.
I'm not... I can see them, right, going into the room?
Yeah, in theory.
Yeah. I'm just be like, I'm gonna be, like, we should probably, it is amazing rhubarb from the desert.
And Tessian's like, interesting. He tries some of it. Is it good?
As good as raw rhbarb can be.
So
No,
no,
who's
it's
eating
not.
Yeah, it's phenomenal raw rhubarb that's been untreated anyway.
Kerash is weird. I don't know what your problem is.
That's cute. So I guess based on what Isaac told me, I'm gonna wait there.
Are you?
God,
The leaves are poisonous on rhubarb, by the way.
Yeah, this is all
For the
fine.
record.
This is all great. I'm going to hold, like he said, for about 5 seconds.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna leave because like that. No. I think I'm just like a sitting duck.
Oh, you're gonna leave. That's kind of what I meant. Like, don't come in is all I like. Don't follow me.
No, I knew that. Fuck,
Okay.
I'm not going in. But I want to make sure, like, I'm going to listen very carefully for the first 5 seconds, and then I'm going to just walk out.
Okay.
And so, do I hear anything as he's going in there?
Well, hang on. What's the other group doing?
Okay.
The three of you guys out there, are you going in or what?
I'm
Stand
kind
put?
of watching everyone, trying to get a feel for like what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here? Maybe I will try to ask Kerash for like what the general plan is, but I'm not going to expect a really deep response.
Wow.
It's been like 2 hours. Like, we show up after this huge rush we've been in. God forbid we went to go to a meeting, and everyone's just chilling out. There's piles of rhurbarb sitting around, and it's just like, well, clearly they have things under control and everything's fine. So I guess we'll just chill out.
Yes. I'm gonna look at Grail like pleadingly and very like with a lot of clear worry on my face. Like,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to wait until I return to them. So I won't say anything yet.
Okay.
But yeah.
So as Isaac heads into this building, we will take a break there. When we come back, we'll see how well this plan goes.
This is one hell of a plan, everyone. It's ready to
certainly
pop
something.
off.
See you soon.
Bye.